If you explain your business to ChatGPT every time you open a new chat, you are using the hardest version of the tool. In the next 10 minutes, we are building one focused workspace that keeps your business context, follows your rules, and produces useful work without a giant setup. I will use a real example, a short-form video editing service for real estate agents. We will add 4 simple files, write project instructions that prevent confident guessing, and run 3 everyday workflows. The goal is not a magical employee. It is a repeatable assistant that starts each conversation with the right context. Stay to the end, because one privacy setting and one instruction mistake can undo the entire system. Most people blame the prompt when the answer feels generic, but the deeper problem is context. A normal chat may know the task, while missing your customer, offer, tone, deadlines, and decision rules. So you paste the same biography again, then correct the same assumptions again. That is expensive friction. A ChatGPT project keeps related chats, files, and project instructions together. OpenAI describes projects as smart workspaces for long-running work, and they are available on free and paid plans. The useful shift is simple. Stop treating every conversation like a first meeting. Build one small operating system, then open a fresh chat inside it whenever the job changes. Create a new project and name it after the outcome, not the tool. Our example is Real Estate Video Studio. A narrow project stays useful because every file and conversation serves the same customer and offer. If you mix personal errands, client delivery, content ideas, and accounting in one space, the context becomes noisy. When you create a project, choose project-only memory if you want a self-contained workspace, and that option is available in your setup. Project-only memory can only be selected when starting a new project. Existing projects may use default memory instead. The screen you see here is a stylized recreation because menus can change, but the structure is the real current workflow. Now, add 4 short files. Business profile explains who you serve and what problem you solve. Brand voice shows how you sound and what language to avoid. Service offer defines deliverables, boundaries, price status, and turnaround. Weekly priorities lists what is actually urgent now. Keep each file concise and date anything that changes. Our offer file does not claim guaranteed leads or high-converting videos. It says we turn agent shot footage into 3 caption vertical edits, with the pilot price still to be confirmed. That sentence matters. If a fact is unknown, label it unknown. The assistant should never convert a marketing hope into a client promise. Think of these files as 4 inputs feeding one context engine. The customer file answers who. The offer file answers what. The voice file answers how. The priorities file answers now. When all 4 connect, the assistant can make a recommendation that fits the business instead of producing generic internet advice. More files are not automatically better. Every extra page competes for attention and can introduce stale facts. Start with the smallest complete map. Then update the source file when something changes instead of correcting the same mistake in 5 different chats. That gives you a clean chain from business fact to AI output. Next, add project instructions. Use this structure, role, truth rules, decision rules, and output format. Our assistant serves a short-form editing business for residential agents. It must separate facts from assumptions, ask up to 3 clarifying questions when an owner, deadline, or budget is missing, and never invent commitments, prices, testimonials, or results. It should answer with a compact table, priority, owner, deadline, and risk. OpenAI says project instructions apply only inside that project and override global custom instructions. That makes them powerful, but also dangerous if they're vague. Never write. Do whatever it takes. Give the assistant boundaries you would be comfortable reviewing on screen. First workflow. Daily planning. We paste 12 tasks and say we have 4 available hours. A weak assistant immediately creates a fantasy schedule. Our project assistant sees the rules and asks what the urgent client problem involves, what deadlines are confirmed, which work must be done personally, and where another person is waiting. Only then does it create 3 priority buckets and a realistic schedule. Notice the difference. Memory supplies the business context, while the instruction supplies the decision behavior. The best output is not the prettiest calendar. It is the plan with the fewest unsupported assumptions. Before acting, confirm every deadline and commitment yourself. Second workflow, a client follow-up. We tell the assistant the client wants consistent social content. Their team lacks editing capacity, and they will send 3 sample videos. Price and timeline were not agreed. Because the project already knows the service and voice, the draft sounds like this business. Because the rules block invention, it says the pilot scope, pricing, and timeline still need confirmation. That is a small sentence with large value. AI-generated emails often become risky when they strengthen a possibility into a promise. Use the assistant to draft, not to send. Read every name, date, deliverable, and commitment before it reaches a client. Third workflow, offer review. Instead of asking, "Is this a good idea?" ask the assistant to identify the 3 most dangerous assumptions, explain what evidence would reduce each risk, and design the cheapest 7-day test. For our video editing service, likely risks include agents not having usable footage, cold messages being ignored, and a low trial price attracting buyers who will not continue. The assistant can propose interview questions and measurable thresholds, but it cannot validate demand without real customer behavior. A response is a hypothesis. A booked call is evidence. A paid pilot is stronger evidence. Keep that latter visible so polished language never gets mistaken for market proof. Here is the before and after test I actually care about. In a blank chat, the assistant may ask who the customer is, guess at the offer, or produce a generic marketing plan. Inside the project, it can reference the defined customer, protect the unconfirmed price, and format the answer the way the business uses it. Do not judge the system by how impressive one response sounds. Run the same 3 recurring tasks for 1 week. Count how many factual corrections you make, how many clarifying questions are useful, and how long the final edit takes. If those numbers do not improve, simplify the files or tighten the instructions. Memory should reduce correction work, not create a bigger maintenance job. 3 mistakes break this setup. First, stale files. Put a review date on prices, offers, and priorities. Second, instruction soup. If 50 rules conflict, the output becomes inconsistent. Keep only rules you can explain. Third, sensitive data. Do not upload passwords, private keys, government identifiers, or unnecessary client information. Files in a project are retained until the project is deleted, according to OpenAI's current retention guidance. In a personal workspace, you can also visit settings, data controls, and turn off Improve the Model for everyone if you do not want new conversations used to improve models. Business, enterprise, and edu have different organizational controls, so follow your company policy. The finished system is deliberately small. 1 outcome-focused project. For source of truth files. 1 instruction block. 3 separate recurring chats. Plan the day, follow up with a client, and test an offer. Keep the facts in files, keep the work history in chats, and keep behavioral rules in project instructions. When something changes, update the source, not every old conversation. This is not autonomous business management, and it should not make final legal, financial, or client decisions. It is a context layer that makes repeated knowledge work faster and more consistent. That is the realistic advantage. Here is your build checklist. Create 1 project for 1 repeated outcome. Add a business profile, brand voice, offer, and current priorities. Paste the truth rules and output format. Open 3 chats for the jobs you repeat most. Test the system on real work, then review every important fact before using the result. In 7 days, compare correction count and editing time against a blank chat. If the project wins, keep it. If it does not, remove stale context and simplify the rules. The goal is not to collect AI features. The goal is to remove repeated explanation and reduce preventable mistakes. Choose 1 workflow you repeat every week and build the smallest useful project around it today. Then comment with the job you want the assistant to handle: planning, client follow-up, research, or offer testing. I read those comments to choose the next complete workflow. If you want to see which major AI assistant performed best across 5 business tests, watch the comparison on screen now. Subscribe to NoTech AI Lab for practical AI systems built for freelancers and small businesses, without coding, inflated promises, or hidden sponsorships.